Hello guys, welcome to today's digital SAT math masterclass. The topic for today is very interesting. It's quadratic function. So let's begin with our questions. The first one being an object. So what does the question say? Let's have a look. An object is launched vertically upwards. Quadratic function xt is minus 5 t minus 3 whole square plus 45. It maps the structural height of the object above the ground. Units are meters as a function of time t. Time t is measured in seconds. After how many seconds does the tracking object reach its absolute maximum peak height? So if you look at this question, simply for this, they're simply asking the the value of t for which the value of ht is maximum. That's what is simply being asked. So there are two approaches to solve this question. One, you can solve it using the differentiation or derivative approach if you're familiar with it, that if that at a maximum or a minimum point the derivative goes zero. But another approach which is more simpler and which we are more familiar with, which is the vertex form of the parabola, we will be using that. Correct? So what does it say? Since it's a quadratic, every quadratic graphs like a parabola, either an upward parabola or a downward parabola, depending upon the coefficient of highest degree variable term, which is t square, which clearly for here is minus 5. It's a negative, so it will be a downward parabola, and which is also obvious by the question. With time the object goes up, and then after reaching a maximum height it must be coming down, right? So if I just try to plot this thing, let me ask you what has to be. Okay, now I want. Okay, so how do I plot this parabola actually? This, if you look at this parabola is already given in a very useful format, which is the vertex form of a parabola, which is y minus k is equals to a constant c x minus h whole square. Just a little rearrangement is required. Here y is ht, y minus 45 is equals to minus 5 t minus 3 whole square, where y is simply ht, height. So it's, if I plot a graph of ht with time, what is the center of this the vertex of this parabola? The vertex of the parabola is h comma k in vertex form, so here it would correspond to 3 comma 45, both being positive. So 3 comma 45 would lie somewhere over here, right? And whether this parabola is upward or downward, since the coefficient of t square will be negative, so it will be a downward parabola. So this is what the parabola would look like approximately. Correct? So let's say I threw it from, let's, so now if this is the path which the object is traversing with time. Now tell me, what should be the answer to this question? After how many seconds does the tracking object reach its absolute minimum maximum peak height? So what is the maximum peak height? The maximum peak height would correspond to this particular point, which is 3 comma 45. If it's 3 comma 45, what does this height correspond to? That's 45. And what does this time correspond to? That's simply 3 seconds. So our answer is 3 seconds. So what did we need to know for this question? Graphing and vertex form of the parabola. That was required. Correct? If you know these things, this question is a very simple one. Let's go to another question. What is the another question? This one. The quadratic equation x square plus k equals 36 equals 0. It's a simple quadratic where k is a positive constant coefficient. Now this needs to be kept in mind. K is positive. Exactly has one distinct real solution. Now my question to you is, can a quadratic ever have only one solution? No. Either it will be having two solutions which are real and distinct, means unique solution, for which d has to be greater than 0. Another case, real solution where both the solutions are converging to one point where the parabola for that quadratic curve just touches the x-axis. So real solution and equal. What is the condition for that? Discriminant is equals to 0. And the third case, you all know, imaginary solution or no solution, for which discriminant is less than 0. So what does this case correspond to? Exactly one distinct real root means two roots which are equal. This is the case we are talking about. So what is D? B square minus 4AC is equals to 0 in this standard form of a quadratic equation. So this is already given in a standard form. A is 1, B is K, C is 36. K is square, which is B square minus 4 into 1, A is 1 and C is 36 is equals to 0. So K should correspond to, if I take this entire thing to the right side, it will correspond to, now here's the trick for the examination. Don't multiply them. Just write it as K square is equals to 2 into 2 into 6 into 6. Why am I doing this? It's a trick. If because for K I'll have to have the factors of these two guys, so which I already did. So K would correspond to plus minus 2 into 6, which is 12. And what was the condition? K was positive, so K will be plus 12. So what was the approach to this question? Simple. First identify that the roots were equal. Next identify roots are equal for what condition? D is equals to 0. Third thing, and a time saving trick has to be used over here. If k square is equals to 4 into 36, 4 into 36 need not be multiplied. Keep them in the factored form. Okay. So guys, thank you for this. Thank you for joining this session. I hope this helps you in your preparation for SAT and any other exam, because the question, the basics and the concepts of the question remains the same. Uh, so let's part for now. If you have any doubts or queries, you can put your questions in the comment section. I'll be solving that and I'll make a video on that as well. Plus, if you want a personalized one-to-one coaching for SAT, AP, IB, or IIT for Indian student, you can contact me. My Okay, thank you. Bye bye. Have a good one.